Yo, 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 welcome, 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 welcome to Swish for Real. I got my buddy in the building, very, very esteemed host with us. Guest, you know, fan favorite, Wild Dogg. What's good with you, man?
I'm good, man. Holly, blessed and favorite. Thank you for having me on.
Uh, Man, we love having you on, man. How's your week so far, man? How's things been going?
Oh man, dude, it's like, you know, I'm good, but it's like, little stuff like sinus infection. Then you get off of that, it's like, is that a toothache? And then it's like, okay, I'm on top of that. And then I stub my big toe, and it's like, really? So it's been like, what is something building up, or is this I'm just clumsy doing stuff and eating stuff or whatever, or not taking care of myself right? I'm just like, okay, I need to tighten up. You know, I need
Already.
to tighten
Yeah.
up.
It's been a crazy week though, man, especially as far as the NBA goes, man. Have you been kind of peeping out these teams juggling for playoff positions? What's been a surprise for you for this 2024 playoff, well, upcoming
hey,
playoff?
hey, I grew up a Sixers fan. The Mavs didn't get established until 1980. Remember, folks. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Mhm.
Joel Embiid for me coming back sooner than expected. You know, but then Tyrese Maxey being out, I'm like, woo. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
uh, it's like, do they have time? You know what I mean? And how is that going to shake things up in the East? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the
So
East has had some really, really good teams that's made it. The one surprise team for me is the Orlando Magic, but I'll let you continue.
yeah, me and the Magic, I'm just like, dysfunction, but I'm happy to see, I'm happy to see them, making a push again, you know, and sometimes I'm happy, I'm glad to be wrong, and in this instance, I really do hope it holds up. I really hope to be wrong, you know, you know, with regard
Yeah.
to the Magic. So it's like
So
it's
they
like it's like I'm just always waiting for something to go wrong or happen with them because of dysfunction. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know,
they
if
got
the
they got a
organization
40.
is not tight from top to bottom, you'll get into situations where you know, games you should win, you lose, or it's weird stuff. Weird stuff happens. You know,
So they
and
have the same record as the New York Knicks at 45 from 31. And if they started the playoffs today, Magic would be the fourth seed and the Knicks will be the fifth seed. Who do you got winning out of that if they started today?
oh, Knicks,
Why so?
just um, the chemistry, the fluidity, the flow of the Knicks game. When you're looking at a whole series, right? Offensively, they can make adjustments, and then defensively, you know, they can have a lot of aggression and create problems. So over the course of the series, I'm like, oh yeah, Knicks all the way. I
But they're
know
they're gonna be
Magic.
without Randall. Julius Randle's not gonna be in this series, possibly. At least for
Even
this first round.
I understand, I understand, but even then, it's like even like now, it's like the Magic on a three game winning streak.
Hmm.
I mean, I know they're the fourth seed, but it's like that's not anything telling. You know, I know they've had some streaks, but the inconsistency, and then over the course of you know, I would trust the Knicks staff to make better adjustments, and I would expect really Jalen Brunson to refuse to lose. Especially in the first round to the Magic.
I got you.
So
So
a bit of truth, and then a bit of just bias. Let, let me just come clean. Yeah.
And speaking on the Eastern Conference, the Bucks, man, they've been kind of up and down. They're the two seed. Not surprising that they are the two seed, but they're 13 games behind the number one seed, the Celtics. So if
Yeah.
they face off, I mean, against them in the conference finals, do you think the Bucks can pull it off, or do you think it's going to be a challenge for them to beat the Celtics to beat the Bucks? But even to bring it back to the Bucks, is the changing from Boshauser, I believe, was the coach's name, into Doc Rivers. Has that made an effect? Because they have like actually it was Adrian Griffin. My apologies, Adrian Griffin to Doc Rivers. Has that had an effect on the play of the team? And then how will that be if they make it to the conference finals against the Celtics, if the Celtics make it?
Yeah, we spoke on this before a bit. I mean, it's almost like a move you have to make because Doc Rivers is available, you know? Mm-hmm. And then in general, my principle is that I do not like coaching changes mid-season, you know?
Particularly for a playoff team, for sure.
Yeah, I just never have liked it. And then more often than not, it's not a win. It's not any form of progression, you know? Coaches need an off season, you know what I'm saying? And to prepare, and then communication, and then, trying to get their program aligned up, and even people that, aren't going to be a fit, or that, might be some issues, just make adjustments. Right. You just hand it off. Doc Rivers is a good, solid coach, but he's no magician,
Right.
And so I feel like that's like flat. That move is just, at this point, it's just neutral, flat, a lateral. It was almost seemed like a lateral move,
Right. So with them being in the second seed, they get the winner out of the play-in versus 7 and 8, and those 7 and 8 is Miami is number 7 and Philadelphia is number 8. Who you have winning out of that particular squad, or that game, that series? There's only a play-in, so the loser will play the winner of the 9-10 seed, and the winner will play the Bucks. So it's Miami number 7. The Philadelphia 76ers number 8. So who do you have winning out of that?
So, man, you're going to get me in trouble today. So, I mean, Heat Bucks, man, let me just go, let me breathe. Yeah. Let me back up a little bit. The Sixers, I'm so very excited. It just disturbed everything. Embiid coming back even interrupted my March Madness celebration. I'm all NCAA basketball. Him coming back interrupted everything that I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? I was like up to here in March Madness, and then what, Embiid is back? But growing, we up in age. I'm not trying to tell you business, but anything involving the growing, which is part of your core, that is tied into everything, that I don't care how slight a tweak it is, that is, and then my worst thought is that it's probably been lingering. It's probably been something, that Dame has been nursing with the groin injury, and then finally to the point where it's like, I can't, and no. And then like with LeBron, when the King had his groin injury, the great shape he's in, and all his trainers and the way he works on his body, his groin injury did what to him? He had to sit his butt down, right? So, the timing.
You got Miami, or you got the Sixers?
I got the timing. The timing with Maxey, and then Embiid being maybe 85% at best right now. The Heat, Jimmy Buckets is going to be on it. Jimmy Buckets in the playoff is a whole nother animal. It's not going to be enough. So I didn't want to jump straight to the Heat, and bypass the issue with Maxey and the timing with Embiid early, and then Maxey out, and how that interrupts things. So today I would give that straight up with the Heat going against the Bucks, and with the issue with Dame and their inconsistency, and like we talked about, the coaching change falling flat, which does worse. You know what I'm saying?
So you got Miami playing against the Bucks in the the first round basically after the
and I
play.
would have the Heat out of that.
Oh, you have the Heat beating the Bucks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, that does it's
I
not.
mean, and I was the one. What was it? September or whatever it was. Some well, we went to later, but Suns and Bucks in the chip. But right now, today, right now, you know, yeah, no.
All right, so moving on to the 3-6 matchup, which is Cleveland is 3 and the Pacers is 6. And who do you have out of that particular matchup? If I had to choose one, the Pacers look pretty tough for the Cavaliers, even though the Cavaliers may out rebound them, but it's just the Pacers are just a cohesive team, and they've been playing really good. And when they faced off against Dallas, I was so surprised at how well they played. But
Boy,
in your opinion, who do you think will win
boy,
that 3 Cavaliers or 6 Pacers?
because we had a session. Because we had a session where you asked, "Are the Pacers the real deal?" Right? You remember that? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, not quite yet. They're gelling. They're getting there." And they was like, they must have heard me. and or heard everybody, saying, "Oh, it's wonderful, it's great that they made a move." I was expecting them to like. I'm looking, hey, the Pacers to make the playoffs, but not doing what they're doing, not be like this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then not really expect them to be, and it's so strong away, maybe strong, at home, but
Mm-hmm.
not this strong away. You know what I'm saying? So, goodness. But you got my man. I'm a Louisville Cardinal fan, and I'm hard on him, but I am a Donovan Mitchell fan. And dude, that would be a nice series, but I I would have to go with the Cavaliers
Cavaliers. Okay,
over
not bad. The
the
reason why would you pick the Cavaliers? Is it more offense on their part or more defense? What are your thoughts on that? I'm thinking the Cavaliers is, like I said, they probably out rebound the Pacers, but the Pacers got good rebounders. Don't get me wrong, but the Cavaliers have better rebounders. Man, if I don't have the stats in front of me, but it just
yeah.
by the eye test, they look to be better in rebounding. But I'm thinking you probably would decide your deciding factor would be on the defensive end. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, and then so much experience, because I may be wrong somewhere, but I really look and see the Pacers being kind of a young and up and coming team,
Mm-hmm.
and you come out strong in the playoffs, but that 7-game series, you know what I'm saying, things you normally can rely on, you can't rely on, you know what I'm saying, and then you got season experience like Donovan Mitchell to kind of bring his youngsters, which is why they made the move they made this season, more cohesion, relying on Donovan Mitchell's experience,
Mm-hmm.
veteran experience and leadership. That's where I give the edge, you know?
Okay. So moving on to the 9-10 season, the winner out of this one will go ahead and face the Celtics, which is the number 1 seed. So the 9 is the Bulls and the 10 is the Hawks. And either one of them, I don't think they'll be able to beat the Celtics because the Celtics is just a great
No.
team right now. So
No.
out of this play-in game, which one of these teams you think will be able to face off against the mighty Celtics?
I mean, I love what the Bulls are kind of doing this year, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like rebuilding and kind of getting a shift. And then, I don't know, it's almost like for this playoff, my theme is like just I expected more. And like
Mm-hmm.
we deserve more. And that's going into talking about the Hawks. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like we have the right to expect more because we deserve more, and that's why I feel with the Hawks. So it's like I'm like the Hawks should be making that progression, should have been making that progression from the All-Star break and
Mm-hmm.
rolling better and be able to push through the Bulls to make a showing.
But
But
the deciding factor if Trey Young will be able to play. But
yeah,
one caveat to this too is that before they even get to the Celtics. So the 9 and 10 seed will have to face the loser of the 8 and 7 seed. So if it's the Philadelphia 76ers that loses in your estimation, they'll
Yeah.
face off against either the Bulls or the Hawks. But who you said you have the Hawks winning that game, so they'll face off against the 76ers. So who would win out of that matchup if the
I
Hawks?
mean, I would, over the series, I think I would look for the Bulls.
Really?
I just
Okay.
that's kind of I just feel like the Hawks are going to disappoint us again.
So the Bulls.
So I don't mean to run on or ramble, maybe get to my point, but it's like I'm just loading up why I feel the way I feel and what I'm seeing my eye test, and I just expect to be disappointed again. When it comes to the
So
Hawks.
all right. So well, then that'll mean the Hawks will face off against. You said the Philly will be losing to Miami Heat. So if they lose to Miami Heat, who would win out of that Hawk and Philly game?
I mean, Hawks and Phillies. I mean, I gotta go with Phillies. Right now, today, with what the Hawks are doing, you know, I you know, I don't see them being able to get it done.
Right. So that means
I expect to be disappointed.
so so that means wait. I'm sorry. So the winner. So you have the Hawks beating the Bulls, or you have the Bulls beating the Hawks. I just
Have the Bulls beating the Hawks
So if
at
the Bulls
9-10.
beat the Hawks will be out of there. So then that'll be the Bulls facing off against Philly. So if Philly face off against the Bulls, you think Philly can beat the Bulls?
Yeah, Philly's got enough firepower. Excuse me. Even if Maxi's out, yeah, Philly would have that. Or even
So
if
that'll
Max is at 80% and B's at 80%, that's too much.
Mhm. Right. That, that is too
That's
much.
too much.
I like the way they got this set up too. Those play-ins are pretty awesome because it gives a lot of people,
Yes.
the incentive to push for that sixth spot. So you want to get the sixth spot and
But
preferably
Big Mike, they reaching back to the old school, like the old ways and the black, you know what I'm saying? The early days, you know, and bringing it up, So it's really nothing new. They just acknowledging the way it used to, be done in the early origins of basketball.
Gotcha. So you have Philly beating the Bulls. So that means Philly will face off against the Celtics if they beat the Bulls. So who would win out of the Celtics versus Philly?
Oh, Celtics. It's way too much.
What
I
would
mean,
be the series? Would it
we
be
talked about the me ball. We talked about the star ball in a different episode, but that's just way too much firepower, and the history and with the Celtics and going into play. That's way too much firepower, way too much energy, with the fan base. Yeah.
What would be the series? Will it be Boston 4-2, Boston sweep? What are your thoughts?
That very well. I'm not even gonna think about it. That very well would be a Boston sweep. First round, the way the Celtics history, the whole ambiance, the energy going into the playoffs, that is real. That is meaningful. You a Celtic in that atmosphere with all that history going to the playoffs, and historically they come in strong. Even when they're weak or limping in, it just has an impact. So that first round against the Celtics, I feel pity. I feel sorry for the fool. I hear Mr. T like, I pity the fool. Because that's not gonna be pretty. Maybe 4-1, but very well, high probability of 4-0 sweep.
Wow. So let's move over to the Western Conference, man. So we're gonna start with the 3-6 competition as far as the games. So the Suns are the sixth spot, and the up and coming run and gun young Thunder are in the third spot. I would say, in my opinion, I feel like the Suns can beat the Thunder. And I'm just saying it because they have a little bit more experience. But yeah, the Thunder don't know they need to lose. They might be like, we just here to play. We just hooping. What are your thoughts, man?
Again, it's almost like my theme for the show. My theme right now is we expect more and we deserve more because I expected more from the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my preseason prediction was Suns and Bucks, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I expected much more from Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. And so, you know, it's hard for me to be up on them, right? I know
Mm-hmm.
they got the seasoned veteran in Kevin Durant, but he's getting a little long in the tooth. And these youngsters out in Oklahoma City, they are not messing around. And SGA is not scared of anybody. And Chet Holmgren is not scared of anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And their coach, their defensive performance, and their coach and his defensive mind, he gonna be playoff ready. He gonna be able to have all the adjustments. Can the youngsters deliver? They have in the regular season. You know what I mean? So I know you got Durant and legendary experience there, but it hasn't panned out. So I'm expecting to be disappointed. Right.
So you think the Thunder will beat the Suns? So what will be the series then?
And then I'm thinking head to head, coach to coach. No disrespect to Vogel, but I'm like, man, like this could be to maybe at best to give the Suns something to forward to. I think the Suns will show up, and it'll give them a game, and there might be a close game that they could edge out. But I don't think the Thunder and what I consider a seasoned coach, the way he came up and his brilliant defensive mind, is going to allow them to really do much of anything over the course of the series.
So you think
the Suns will show up for one game and slam it down, maybe pull out a close game, and then that's it. 4-2 at best.
Thunder beat them 4-2. Okay, not bad, not bad. So moving on to the 4 and 5 seed, Dallas is 5. The Clippers are 4. I mean, this is if the playoffs started today.
Today, if it started today, today is Friday. April 5th. Yeah,
So who do you have in that series? And I'm taking the Mavericks, and reason why I'm taking the Mavericks because of what they added doing before the trade deadline was over with the 2 additions with PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and the arrival of Kyrie gelling with Luka. It's been amazing. So with even the addition of Exum, that's been something to look at. They've been really defensive focused and defensive minded, and they've been all gelling together. But that's still the Clippers. The only problem with the Clippers is they don't know how healthy Kawhi Leonard will be when he comes back. So if they started today, I still have Dallas, and I would say Dallas will beat them. It'll be a 6-game series. Dallas 4, the Clippers 2. But let me get your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts?
But the thing would deal with that though, like today, I haven't had an update on Lively. Is he still out?
Lively, I don't know if he's in the game yet.
And then how is Gafford doing? I heard something about Gafford.
Yeah, he had an ankle soreness,
right.
but I don't think he's gonna be playing. He played good last game.
Right.
The question is Lively, so I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna check to see if they have him in the lineup.
I want to make sure we just acknowledge that the Mavericks have been impacted by some injuries a bit, and to me, Lively is one of the best, top 3 rookie. He's number 3 as far as the rookies for me, this year. And his impact and his performance, he's a big part of our success and moving forward. So, but him coming back from injury, because there's not a lot required of him. And what we're asking of him, I'm saying, that you can come back from an injury and do well for what Kid is asking him to do. Does that make sense?
Right, because he's a rookie, he's nothing but passion and want to prove people that he can play.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then being young and exactly, you need to hit the nail on the head. Now, when it comes to the Clippers, this is where I can say, finally, some expectation. 4 future Hall of Famers, finally. Speaking of gelling, you said gelling.
Mm-hmm.
These four guys have figured it out. And even with the injuries, you know, now you got three, stars over there, and it's like, okay. And when it boils down to it, yes, I'm going to acknowledge that the Clippers have been the Mavericks' nemesis. You know what I'm saying? In the playoffs. And if it started today, it's like, don't run from it. Embrace it. Face it. Face your nemesis. Face your challenges head on. You know? And when the Mavericks beat the Clippers, when the Mavericks beat the Clippers, and I'll go ahead and say 7 games because I want to see that much and that excitement because Kawhi coming off an injury, it's Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kawhi at 80% has to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And
I agree.
So, but being a Mavericks fan, yeah, I'm going to admit my bias. But, in all these years, like the Bad Boys and Jordan, the Clippers have been the nemesis, the roadblock for the Mavericks. And I think this is the year Luka has made such a huge turn. Luka will refuse to lose. He would take this as a challenge, as a huge turning point in his career and him gaining respect. And the Clippers don't have a chance, even with all 4 stars. What is their, what's your answer for Kawhi? What is your answer for Luka Doncic? What is your answer for cool hand Luka? You don't have one. If Luka decides that he refuses to lose, Kyrie Irving's going to ride with him. That's it in his first round. And it's time. It's time for the Mavericks to deal with the Clippers and get that boost in confidence and in respect. And when I say respect, then not just fans, that includes officials.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Dirk finally got his respect, he was getting calls that he would not normally get, but he should have been getting. So it had that respect factor carries over, and it impacts officials when they're on the edge this way or that way, and that things kind of happen for you instead of against you. That's the way I see it. This would be like an epic first round for Mavericks and Luka's career to beat the Clippers. But don't celebrate too much, right? Because we've been to the Western Conference Finals and lost. But it would be like a great launch to go in the first round, beat your nemesis, the Clippers, and be catapulted through the next 2 rounds to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
So looking at the Mavs game tonight with the Golden State Warriors, I don't see Lively in the lineup. I just checked and he's not shown in the lineup, so he should still be out. Okay, so let's move on to the Pelicans versus the Kings, which the Pelicans are 7 and the Kings are 8. The winner out of this game will fall to the 7th seed, and the loser out of this game will have to play the winner out of the 9-10 seed. So who do you have moving on? Will it be the Pelicans that has to play an additional play-in game, or will the Kings move forward and be that 7th seed? What are your thoughts?
So Pelicans versus Kings, right?
Correct.
7 and 8. So let me just go back, stand on business, as the young folks say. And I said it preseason. Yeah, the Pelicans look good, but and running good, but I'm just waiting for that flat tire, right? Like in racing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You try to stretch it, you try to push it, everything's going good, but you didn't take that tire change, you run in first place, and the lap before the last lap, you get a flat tire. And you got to go into the pit stop. So I'm just waiting. I know we're rounding out the season, brother, but I'm still just wait. It's not about any expectations and none of that. It's about when's the flat tire? Flat tire is coming. That's what I expect. I expect a flat tire.
So you're thinking the Kings will move on and face off against the Nuggets. So
and the Kings have had some slippage, but I love the Kings. I'm a De'Aaron Fox fan, so I'm loving the Kings there, and I'm waiting for the Pelicans to have a flat tire.
So that means the Pelicans will face off against the winner against the 9-10 seed. The 9 seed being the Lakers, and the 10 seed will be in the Golden State Warriors. The loser out of this game is out of the playoffs. So who do you have winning to face off against the Pelicans to grab that last spot?
It's two things. It's like I learned, like I'm not a gambling man, but I'm like, I learned never to bet against the Warriors. they they have made me eat so much crow over the over the years. Like I respected them and believed in them, but I was like, oh, well, this and that. Man, they've made me eat so much crow, But with where the Lakers are and what they're doing, and projections for the season were high, but it's like, and the Warriors on a winning streak, and they're sitting at a 6-game winning streak, and the way Draymond Green is looking, dude, I want to give LeBron and AD, be like, AD's gonna go off and this and that, but I'm just like, Curry and LeBron. I can't bet against the Warriors. I can't do it.
All right. So what's the deciding factor? Is it defensive or offensive that makes you decide that the Lakers will be kicked out by the Warriors?
The Warriors just got too much experience, too much chemistry. They're healthy and they're rolling, and they are just a steamroller. When they're steamrolling, it's going to be damage. It's going to be emotional damage too.
Okay. All right. So that means the Warriors will face off against the Pelicans, as you have the Pelicans losing to the Kings. So out of that play-in game, who do you have, the Warriors or the Pelicans?
Warriors. Yeah, okay. Pelicans a flat tire waiting to happen.
All right.
Remember Zion at Duke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he pushed through his shoe. Yeah, that's what I see. but as a team, as an organization, I'm just waiting for the flat tire. That's what I keep seeing. Zion going to make a move and pushing and then the shoe going through the sole, and his foot pushing through the upper. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question then: Okay, so if the Warriors win, they face off against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is the number 1 seed currently. Who do you have winning, Minnesota or the Warriors?
And earlier this season, I misspoke. I'm on record for misspoke. I made a mistake. I said something about the Timberwolves, and you tried to help me, but then we were moving along in the episode, and later I was like, did I say what I said about the Timberwolves? I'm the one that said that Cat is underrated. I'm the one that's high on Anthony Edwards, saying he's making his turn in his career. Why did I say Timberwolves? Was I thinking the Magic? The 10 colors? What was I doing? What was I thinking? And I remember it, my photographic memory. I remember it's like, Big Mike, Coach Mike was going to try to help me. Why didn't he help me? Because he knew better than that. He knew I didn't believe that. I don't know how that came out of my mouth. We talking about who makes the playoffs in the West. No, Timberwolves. Cat is underrated, and I'm so very high on Anthony Edwards. And it's time for these young men to make a turn and make a show.
So they will be.
This year is it. If they don't make a push this year, yeah.
All right. So lastly, now we can talk about this one. We didn't get a chance to kind of cover it. We did mention it, but you got the Kings facing off against the Nuggets. The Nuggets is a 2 seed, and the Kings will be the 7 seed if they win that matchup against the Pelicans for that 7 seed. So who do you have winning out of that series versus Kings and the Nuggets, and what will be the series number?
Kings and the Nuggets, I love the Kings. I love the young guys, but they're not quite ready. Not on that level. So I think they'll
push it to 6 games.
They'll make a showing at home, but yeah, that's it. At best, I would like to give the young cat and say 4-2.
Gotcha. And I'm with you. I think the Nuggets will make quick work of the Kings. I think the Kings will get 2 games for sure. And my thoughts on the Timberwolves facing off against the Warriors, I don't think the Warriors are going to get past the Lakers. That's just my opinion. I think the Lakers is just too long and too strong for them. So I feel like they'll be the ones who's going to push on and play against the Timberwolves. And I think the Warriors' time is going to be up, even though they're on a winning streak. And they could push it to 7 games tonight against the Mavs. Who knows? But I think the Mavs got something to say tonight as far as what happened in Golden State. So I think they're going to be doing well. But that's what I'm thinking. I think that the Lakers will knock them off in that play-in, and then it'll be the Lakers versus Timberwolves versus the Pelicans, which they'll beat the Pelicans, and then they'll go off and face off against the Timberwolves. But
and brother, the Lakers really should. The Lakers really should, because we're all high on the Lakers, right? they have what they need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like they should, but it's like, I have my position, but I'm saying I respect yours and agree with your take as much as mine, because I feel like the Lakers should. You know what I'm saying? That's again the expectation.
That's it, Pray. That's it.